everybody. I'm going to be discussing a film I just saw recently. This one is based off of the comic book Tales from the Crypt, and the film was made in 1972. Now, the film follows a couple of segments that are all composed together to make the 92-minute film. It starts off with a bunch of strangers, 5 strangers that go on a tourist group to view old catacombs, and they get separated from the main group and meet this mysterious crypt keeper who's played by Ralph Richardson. Now, he goes into detail about how each one of these strangers will die. First one is about a woman that kills her husband, and she eventually gets killed by a homicidal maniac who's dressed up as a Santa Claus. There's also another story of a man who abandons his family to be with his mistress, and he ends up dying in a car accident. The other story in this film is about a snobbish pair who despise their neighbor, and they drive him to commit suicide, and eventually he comes back from the dead and rips the neighbor's heart out. And the fourth story is about a woman that goes into an old Chinese store and finds this figurine that can grant its wishes, and eventually the wishes don't go as planned, and she ends up killing her husband. The final story is about a man who runs a middle-aged home, but he exploits the older people that are living in this middle-aged home for his own good. He doesn't invest in the home, and one of the men ends up freezing to death, and he dies, and he comes back to take his life from the dead. Now, the finale, the Crypt Keeper reveals that this isn't how they're going to die, it is how they've already died, so they're all going to hell. And it's basically looking back at their life and what they've done to end up in this position. Now, the film was one that I did enjoy because I'm a fan of the Tales of the Crypt series from the 90s, but I wasn't aware of this film from 1972, so I would definitely recommend people go out there and watch the film. And if you've seen it already, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it as well. Now, I did rate this film as I have all the other films, and this is a film that I would rate a 5 out of 10. So thank you again to everybody that keeps watching, and goodbye until next time.